It is a great honor to me to open this solemn academic session. This seminar, ladies and gentlemen, forms a part of a tradition. The tradition of the distinguished Real Academia de Ciencias, Económicas y Financieras de España to arrange high-level seminars together with the home institutes of its foreign members.
We cannot foresee that the current financial crisis has had a strong impact on the world economy that will continue to last for the next years. Major efforts have been made since 2007 in Europe in order to find effective solutions to common problems of international scope. Spain, as a founding member of the Eurozone, has been very active in this search since the beginning of the crisis.
In the first place, I would like to express my thanks and great satisfaction for the welcome we have received. The meeting, which is now underway, will allow intellectuals from both our countries, Finland and Spain, to reflect, open and discuss one of the most important aspects of the times in which we are living, governing European economics, financial crisis and these challenges.
Right now, I would argue that we are in an existential crisis. We really have one fundamental crisis which we should focus on and which we've forgotten, and that is growth. So I'd like to make 3 points today, and the first one is about economic reform and growth. One of the big problems that we have in Europe today is that we don't have the guts to make structural reforms. I think we need a serious digital single market. We are being left behind about 10 years. We set the rules for world trade, but we do not promote free trade enough. The main problem in the beginning was that we had a monetary union without an economic union. The euro ended up being a currency for good weather. The basic idea being when the economy is doing well, you save. When it's doing badly, you use those savings. Remember, Monet said, nothing is possible without humans, nothing is lasting without institutions. Nowadays it is, nothing is possible without Sarkozy and Merkel, nothing is lasting without the Commission. Does anyone seriously think that the European structure was created for one person to run it and rule it? No. Because on top of that, you have 27 heads of state of government. I'm an eternal optimist. I think we're doing quite okay, and I think we'll survive.
Many of the reasons for the euro area debt crisis that we're still struggling with have nothing much to do with the EMU or the euro, one has to say. For instance, there is a deficit bias in public finances in many countries around the world, be it inside the euro or outside. But other reasons for the current problems have more to do with the EMU and its rules. The EMU has now ended up in a quite dangerous situation. I will end by noting that there is a Finnish saying, according to which what does not kill you will strengthen you. If we learn from past mistakes, then EMU and Europe will come out of its current difficulties with improved strength and better equipped to manage difficulties in the future. Thank you.
In our days, how Europe handles the present economic and financial unrest is of universal importance, since the world is still, to a large extent, Eurocentric. In those circumstances, Europeans and particularly Americans opted for the financial markets, inventing new financial products. However, the finance market did not spin off real businesses and hardly created any jobs nor gave great rise to trade. We Europeans have to accept that the days of Eurocentrism are practically over. Europe must look around the world for increasing global solutions and honest wide cooperation. What we need is a new growth and development model, able to see that what matters is the human being, each and every human being on the face of the earth.
I will actually take up in more detail one of the topics that our Minister, Alexander Stubb, already mentioned, which is the questions about growth, economic structures. Here's a comparison to the United States, where we look at GDP per capita, roughly speaking, living standards, and then we look at GDP per hour worked, labor productivity. In terms of living standards, will be, there is a gradual catching up. But if you look at the labor productivity, there was a rather rapid catching up with the US until about the mid-1990s. And after that, in fact, the gap in labor productivity has widened. That is one of these problems, the economic growth problem, that certainly we, Europe and EU countries have.
The economic situation in Europe, as we have just seen in one of the graphics, began to deteriorate in fall 2007 under the incredulous gaze of a continent that had grown used to growth and prosperity. In my opinion, following the traumatic experience of war in the 20th century, Europe had made a commitment to peace based on reconciliation, detente, and bringing nations closer together, economically and politically. Finland, in enforced neutrality, spent almost 100 years on the great task of republican education of its citizens and managed to create the best primary education system in the world. Spain, which had taken a great leap forward in literacy between 31 and 36, wasted later precious time in this matter. These countries, with two such different situations, are today united by a single currency, a single passport, and a single flag. Ladies and gentlemen, believe me, when I say that my recipe for Europe can be summarized as the advice that we should all, as a continent, follow the good country-building practices set out in the Republic of Finland, the country hosting today this academic session.
First of all, I would like to underline that the current European fiscal and financial crisis is not a separate economic phenomenon. It's a logical phase in the worldwide financial market crisis, which started in the US in 2008. Europe as such is experiencing a paradox. Looking at the euro area as a whole, the average sovereign debt position is better than in other important developed economies. The fiscal deficit on aggregate as a percentage of GDP is about half of that in the US, Japan and UK. Europe is in the middle of a vicious circle. This circle has to be stopped by painful short-term measures connected with long-term structural measures by the member countries. We need that every country, every individual country takes its own responsibility. We need clear binding rules to the participants of the euro area, but we also, third, need some shared solidarity.
Obviously, we are suffering, enduring a crisis, but that before this crisis, we have also experienced other ones and very serious. We shall save ourselves from the present situation. Most probably, the United States will continue being very strong in technology and China in manufacturing. We need right now structural reforms in finances of the union, bureaucracy, fiscal, labor market. We need more union. We have tried to build the house from the ceiling, not from the basement.
We are not saying goodbye, but we hope to see you soon. Very soon, we hope. Many thanks.